this is one of the most powerful things I've learned through our podcast, but also as a parent. When your kids come to you with an issue, or anyone, we sort of realized through our conversation on the podcast, it's not just kids, it's anyone. But when someone comes to you and they open up and they tell you something that they're really struggling with, especially as parents, we're so quick to try and solve the problem. Like because it comes from a place of love, but we will say, maybe it's the kid's a bit older than mine will come home and say, I didn't make the netball team. And you say, that's okay. Netball's not your favorite sport. Oh, well, maybe if you play well in the practice next training, then you'll get picked. Or I'll have or even worse, I'll have a chat to the coach and we'll see if we can, that kind of stuff. It doesn't make the individual feel better if we're trying to solve the problem. What they want is to have their feeling validated. So, so what you're saying is, I know what that feels like. I've been left out before, and it is the worst feeling. I hate that, and I know what you're feeling, and I'm so sorry you feel like that because it's really bad. And then you can help them articulate what the emotion is. So what are you feeling right now? And if they're able to tell you, I feel left out, I feel confused, or I feel hurt, or I feel embarrassed, or whatever it is, then again, you validate that feeling. Go, I think if I had been left out of a team, I thought I was going to get picked in, I would feel exactly the same way. And then after that, you don't have to, but if you want, you can then sort of try and help them solve the problem. I know a lot of what you do is helping executives with burnout and stuff like that. And I was in a situation end of last year where I was so burnt out. I couldn't have been more. It was for the second year in a row as well. We thought it wouldn't happen again, but it did. I think it was writing the second book, and then all of a sudden the world opened up just before Christmas, and we tried to fit a national tour into a month, basically. And I was like, well, I haven't done any public speaking that's not on Zoom for like a year, so I'm ready to go. For 6 months, so I'm ready to go. And I remember going to someone who I work with, he's amazing. He's our CEO. He's an incredible guy called Ben, and he's phenomenal at what he does. And I told him how I was feeling and how burnt out I was, and he's just such a caring person, and he just tried so hard to fix. He pretty much got his calendar out and goes, right, let's see what we can do here. We need to work out what we can reschedule, what we can't, and he went straight into fix it mode, which I guess is probably what I needed to happen. But I remember feeling very I just didn't feel good, and I didn't know why, and I was like, I don't know why, but this has made me feel shit that we're doing it. Like we're just all of a sudden we're going through a calendar again and lining up shows that are coming up and what we could move around and what we could push to 2022. And I just felt really shit afterwards. And literally 2 days later, we had Dr. Billy Garvey on the podcast, and he's saying, you need to validate. And I thought, gosh. And so I spoke to Ben, and he's like, oh, yeah, definitely. I can. And then, I can definitely do that. That makes a lot of sense. And, the next time, I think it was earlier this year, we looked at my calendar. It was a bit busier than I'd sort of, than both of us had kind of wanted. Just things had popped up from everywhere. And I was telling him how I was feeling, and I was trying not to smile because I was thinking, we're back here again.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah. And I've also told you what I need from you. And he goes, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I understand how I listened to every word you've said. And it was like, it was like textbook. He'd listened, and he was like saying exactly what I'd said I need from him. So, but I see it with my kids as well, like with my kids when more my 5-year-old, my 2-year-old's not quite there yet as far as being able to express what she wants and what she needs. But when my 5-year-old is upset and I validate him, we get a much better response than throwing a t-shirt in his face.
I'm glad. I think Billy would be glad to hear that.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Keep reaching to feel better, because the world needs you to feel good so you can share that very special gift that only you have. And if you want more, check out my next video here.